What is up, guys? I have much going on, but today I finally get to work out again, and so I will be in the park soon to hit a pull workout. So see you guys there. So guys, my last pull workout was probably like 5 days ago. I'm not sure, but I don't think it will be a bad one. I actually believe it will be pretty good because I'm pretty well rested. But still, I have to make sure that in the future I don't have these days where I don't work out because of business. But anyways, let's roll the clips in 3, 2. So guys, for some reason I can't hit muscle ups today. I believe it's 2 reasons. Number 1, my nutrition wasn't on point in the last few days. It was just very hard, so I didn't get enough of like protein and meat, because meat has creatine, and creatine means you have more power in your workout. And second of all, I'm still tired because the night before yesterday I was sleeping like 5-6 hours. And the third one is I'm working out first thing in the morning, and the body is kind of not warmed up properly when you work out in the morning. So I believe the optimal time is probably like 2 or 3 hours after waking up, or even late in the afternoon. But anyways, I will still do my best to just force my muscles to grow, which is push them until failure. So let's continue.
I just want to live my life, if I'm judging. I don't like bad, I don't go find your trouble. I don't like kasala, so far my money the double. As my money the pile up, it make me happy, happy. As my money the pile up, it sweet my butt,
So guys, that workout was pretty weak. Like, it's crazy to me that if you just neglect food, like nutrition and working out for just a few days, your performance dips so much. So I learned from that, and in the future I will make sure that even though I'm on the road, I will have good nutrition and workout every day. If your performance in the workouts dip, then it is very likely that your performance in working itself dips too. So it's best for you to be on your best physical levels. So in order to be on your best mental level, you probably also have to be on your best physical level. Now I'm off to the company, and I will visit the first apartment because I will move soon, and so I'll take you guys there.
来一份醉虾。
好的，你的醉虾来了。
So guys, in order to maximize my time, I always try to listen to some Chinese stuff when I drive, because it's like passive immersion. To be honest guys, the last 3 or 4 days were crazy, and I will talk about it in detail later, but now I'm off to the apartment, so let's check it out. So guys, this could be my apartment, not sure, but it looks pretty good, and it's a very good position because the calisthenics park is like 2 minutes to walk. So I'm thinking about it. So just finishing work for today. I am slowly getting sick. I have a sore throat and my nose keeps running more and more, so that's a sign of just me getting sick, which is not good. Health is like #1 priority. There's the saying that a healthy man has 1,000 wishes, but a sick man only has one, which is to be healthy. I'll have to just see how this develops overnight, but I still want to talk about what I went through this week, which was crazy to me. I learned so much from that. But basically we went to the Intersolar, which is like a fair for solar, like photovoltaic. And I think it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest solar fair in the world. I basically just accompanied these 3 guys because they know a lot of people over there, because those are like business partners. And I just got to know how all of this works, like who knows who, how negotiating works, how partnerships work. I really learned that network is so much more important than you might believe. I even talked to Oscar, which is one of the founders and the guy who I work closest with. He said like most of the things he knows about all of this business is from people in the business, not by reading the newspapers or doing analysis, which is also important sometimes, but really talking to people who are in a specific niche or in a specific company doing a specific job because they know best and they know before anyone else. And so these connections are so important. And one day we went into a club, and you might think, well, going to a club, how does this relate to business? They told me before we went to the club, you have to come because the biggest deals happen in the club. And it actually happened. I'm not gonna go into details because I can't, but because the people in the club are like drinking a little bit here and there and having fun, they're far more likely to like you because you're not in a business setting and everything is like strict, but you're just free, maybe dancing too. And then they kind of trust you more, and that's why these things happen, because they're like, well, I can trust this guy, he can do it. Or I like this guy, I will give it to him, whatever it is. And this opened up a new door in my mind, because before I already told you guys that my goal for the next 6 months is to network as much as I can. But now I really know why and how, because you can always network and get to know people, but what you really have to do besides just getting to know people is getting to know the right people. So you might think like, oh, this guy is working in a specific business, so I'll have to get to know him so I know someone from his business. But what about knowing his boss or the boss of his boss? What about that? These people are far more knowledgeable and far more like connected. Most of the time you put these barriers in your head because you think like, well, this guy is making so much money or he's in such a big position, so I can't talk to him. But that's not true. Like, you can talk to anyone, and most of these people are just normal human beings. They don't judge you on anything, because the judging doesn't happen from the person you're networking with. It really happens through just the conversation. And it's not one person judging another. It's just the conversation really quickly shows if you are matching with the other person. If you have no idea, but the other person has very much idea, then the dynamic shifts and you will really quickly realize you're wasting this person's time, and the person is not going to think that, but they're just going to think, okay, I helped you. Maybe talk to this guy from my company who's below me, who knows this stuff and will be a good fit for you, but I'm not. And it's not a negative thing, but that's probably what's going to happen. But you really have to be without any kind of doubt or fear if you're networking with people who are in higher positions. Just being fearless makes you more rational. If you think this guy's in this position and he's saying this, so this is true, then you're kind of not seeing the actual things he's saying or actually analyzing what he's saying. You're putting worth on what he's saying based on his position in a company or his net worth or whatever things you might rate this on. But if you really just analyze what this person is saying and why they're saying it, where they have it from, that makes you more powerful because you're not easily decepted by anyone else. So what I learned is basically to be fearless approaching important people for networking, because they also want to expand their network. Now, obviously, you need to have some kind of worth for them, because if you're just some random person without any idea of anything and you're just going through life without a plan, there's not going to be anything you can talk to this person about, which makes the person think, wow, I really need to learn from this guy, or I really need to stay connected with this guy because this guy might help me in the future with this. If you can just like make burgers, then this other person will think like, okay, he can make burgers, but there's like billions of others who can do that too. So why would I bother talking to him in the future? So you always have to make sure that you're providing value as well. But if you're like me, new, and the other person sees that you're new, but you're aiming for something bigger or higher, they're very likely to help you because you have this vision and you have a drive. And so they see that and they see potential in you. And so they want to help you because maybe in the future, you're the person that will help them with a specific thing. But anyways, guys, now I'm headed back home, talking to my brother a bit because I haven't seen him in a long time, in a week, and just talking about the week, exchange whatever we've learned from this week, because that's what you do as brothers. And actually, another way you could provide value is by knowing people. You don't even have to know something yourself about the thing or have a skill. You just have to know other people, and that could be a value too. So guys, we have been talking for about 3 hours, probably more. And we basically also talked about network, what we learned from networking, what he learned, what I learned, and just basically about business. And it's so interesting. And one thing we took from this talk is that we're not pretty sure that we're going to be successful. We know we're going to be successful. But that's it, guys. See you on the other side. and see you tomorrow. Peace.